Hello, Snack Pack. Welcome to Travel Snacks. Or if this is your first time, welcome to the channel. And I hope you like to snack. And I hope you like to travel too, but you don't have to. All right, well, I'm going to put my glasses on because, I like to see what people are saying. So this is another impromptu live stream that I just decided to do. I was actually going to do it yesterday. And I just didn't. And I'll tell you why in a second. And then today I was thinking, well, maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. And then I had a bunch of stuff come up. Anyways, that's what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to talk about 100-year-old soup, or soup that makes you supposedly live to 100. So anyways, welcome. Grant is in the house, our awesome, amazing moderator. That's why he's got a ranch next to his name. And he's been around for a very long time on the channel. And I appreciate you very much, Grant, for just always being there, always encouraging, and always hopping on at the last minute, even though you don't have to. So also, Grant has reminded me and us, congratulations on reaching 90,000 subscribers. We're so close to 100,000 Snack Pack family members. And it is a personal goal of mine. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate that. It is a personal goal of mine. When I started this channel, I really didn't know. I didn't know if it was going to even get 1,000 subscribers. I don't know. I mean, I really worked hard to get there. And then over time, it's just grown and grown and grown. And last year, I was like, I'm surely going to hit 100,000 subscribers. And it didn't. And that's because there was a lot going on. And I wasn't making any consistent van videos. And then this year, pretty much the same thing. I was just transitioning to moving and to getting a job and to just figuring it out. And I just let that go. If the channel hits 100,000 subscribers, it does. And if it doesn't, then we still have a wonderful Snack Pack family that I'm super happy about and proud of. So I basically let it go. But recently we just hit 90,000 Snack Pack subscribers. So that's very exciting to me, and we are getting close, and we're still growing. So if you see anybody new around in the comments, welcome them. So thank you, Grant, for the reminder and for hitting me up on Instagram to let me know that we hit 90K. Hey, Cargo Hustler from East Texas. Awesome. Hambone, greetings. Hey, Chloe from Denton, Texas. We got some Texas in the house. All right. Love it. Also, if you haven't already, pop a little like on this. I'm doing more of these live streams now, and we're going to play some games a little bit later. And it's always nice to just get the thumbs ups. Let's see. Galveston. Okay, awesome. Hey, Joanna, how are you? Shane, hey. What happened to age 101? Well, I don't know. Maybe there's some other soup or something special. I don't know. I mean, if you make it to 100, that's pretty darn good. But I would imagine if you make it to 100, it's like every day you're like holding your breath, like any day now. That's a bummer. Actually, I never thought about that. If you make it to 100, I mean, you're pretty much counting down the days. I mean, I guess we're all doing that, which is pretty bleak. Let's not talk about that. Let's be positive. Hey, Amy, how are you? Joanna, so good to see you, and thank you. Lindsay from England, new subscriber. Ooh, welcome, and welcome to the Snack Pack, and thank you for being here. And I would love to go to England. It's on my list. I want to go. So sounds great. Hey, Sean, good evening from, near Houston. What is this, Texas Hour? I mean, this is great. I love all the Texas peeps coming in. Grant says, looking forward to the 100K snack extravaganza. Yes, man. When I think about that, it's like, oh man, like what am I going to do? But I suppose once we get to like 97 or 98,000, then I'll start really thinking about that. I mean, there's not much to do differently than just have a fun live stream. because I'm not really going to have like an in-person thing. I mean, I guess I could, but I probably won't. But I don't know what other people have done for their 100K situations, but I'm sure there'll probably be snacks. I mean, it's got to have snacks. Lindsay says, come to England. You will be most welcome. Make sure you bring an umbrella. That's what I've heard. I heard that it's rainy and kind of like gray, which I personally love a gray vibe, like a cloudy comfort. I love to be cozy up into blankets and scarves and stuff. So, I don't know. Oh yeah, Grant, definitely. Yeah. Unveiling the plaque. That would be awesome. From my two sons who have YouTube channels as well, and they've already, gotten their plaques long ago. Once you hit 100K, then at some point they hit you up and then they ask you what you want it to say, like what name do you want it to say on the plaque? And I don't know if I want to put Travel Snacks or my name, because obviously the channel is Travel Snacks. But then part of me is like, I want my name to like on it to be like, I did all these videos and it's like, it'll be something. But I also wanted to say Travel Snacks because that's like a snack pack, we did it together. So I got time to think about that. But anyways, after you fill that out, I guess they send you an email. It sends you to a link. You put what name you want on it. And then it still takes time for them to ship it to you. And I don't know how long that takes. Like, I think it could take weeks or even months. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate that. I don't know how long it takes. I guess it depends on how many other people are getting plaques, and how long the little shipping time takes. But, we can do like a snack extravaganza, and then later on a live stream, we can do like, an unveiling. So definitely that, I was going to put the plaque in my van and I had a space all laid out for it. But now that I'm going to be selling my van, I won't have that place to put it. But, I'll figure out a place so that we can all collectively see it and love it and be happy about it. Let's see. Oh, it's raining. Oh man. Okay. I wish it was, well, I shouldn't say that. It's rained a lot in Texas. Now, I wasn't prepared for how much it rains here. It rains a lot. And it's been warm for the last little while. I just got back from Chicago. I was there for a week, and I'll probably talk about that a little bit today. Talk about my soup, and I might pick up the computer and go show you my soup in my kitchen. Which, for those of you on here, you'll get a little like tour of my kitchen, which I don't think I've ever shown on any videos. I cleaned it up a little bit because, it was pretty junky. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate that. And we will talk about this soup and why I made it and that I actually made it. Because for those that don't know, I'm not like the greatest cook, but I have been trying things now that I have an apartment. I cook pretty much, let's see. Well, I cook every weekday. I make everything here. And then on the weekends, if I'm out and about, then I might grab something out. But for the most part, I cook here. So I've been cooking more and I've been trying new things. So I'm getting better, I think. And some things turn out and some things don't. So we'll talk about that. And then we'll round it out with some would you rather games, because we used to do that all the time. We kind of got away from it, and it's just a fun thing. And yeah. So if you haven't already, throw a like on it. And yeah. What is the weather like where you guys are? I have, let's see. It is, I'm not in Chicago anymore, so I got to change it. It's currently 86 degrees where I am and sunny. So I will say that I'm not feeling the allergy vibes. I don't usually get super bad allergies, but lately I've just had like slight allergy vibes. So I don't really love that. And I think that's maybe happening around a lot of areas, but I'm not sure. Grant says Allison Sharpe dash travel snacks. I don't know how many letters they allow you, but if they have like, if they allow you 2 lines, or if they allow that many letters, then maybe I'll do that. Or if they allow 2 lines, that'd be cool to be like travel snacks, Allison Sharpe or something like that. That'd be cool. I don't really know, but definitely something to check out. Hey, Eric, how are you? Awesome, awesome. Grant says it's going to be 71 tomorrow, which is pretty amazing for this. That is, because I'm thinking in Canada, it's probably getting pretty chilly. October. We're already in October. So I bet you're happy about that. It's currently 60. Okay, 60's not too bad. That's actually not bad. 60's okay. FSU girl, 100 and sunny. Oh, goodness gracious, 100 degrees. I don't want that. I don't want that. I was raised in over 100-degree weather all the time in like growing up in the desert, and you don't really want it. Hey, Debbie. Debbie says, my allergies have been bad. I am in Massachusetts. Yeah, I've heard that the allergies have been bad the last few years, like really bad. I have this stuff. It's like a little bottle, and my doctor recommended it. It's called Cedar Fever Drops, and I guess it's like for Texas. And I guess there's like cedar trees that is like really supposed to like whatever when they blow in the wind or whatever. I'm just making that up because I don't really know, but like something about those cedar trees gets all in the air and it gets like in your throat and like in your nose and stuff. And so when you live in Texas or when you move to Texas, all of a sudden your body is like trying to get used to it. So these little drops that I got on Amazon, you just take like a little dropper full every day, and it's like micro dosing the pollen or whatever from those cedar trees. And apparently it like gets your body ready for this time of year. So I don't know. I've just been doing it for like a couple months. So I don't know. I mean, maybe if I hadn't been taking those drops, I would have worse allergies. But today I feel kind of allergy-ish. Just like, runny nose and stuff like that, little watery eyes. But anyways, if you're in Texas, you might want to check that out if you've never heard of that before, because I never did. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate all the little hearts emojis. Grant. FSU, miss Florida, especially the rain. I love Florida. I miss visiting there. Maybe I need to take a trip to Florida. That might be the vibe. I also miss California. I hate to admit it because it's so dang expensive and there's just so much stuff going on in California, but there are things that I miss. I mean, of course I miss my parents, but like I definitely miss, well, I do miss the weather, but the weather everywhere and even in California, had, like in growing up years, the weather was more consistent where you had 70 degrees, like 70 or 75, 80, really nice most of the time. And like in the past few years, it's like heat wave central, even in places like San Diego, where you have ocean breezes and stuff like that. It's like even like just a lot of places, it gets super, super hot. And I don't really know, but it's just whatever. But I do miss the ocean. I miss just it, like living in California and just driving to the beach, sitting on the sand, just relaxing, reading a book. And I miss that. And I think I need to find out some places here in Texas that I could just go, like the lakes. Like I'm sure there's lots of lakes. I know there's White Rock Lake. That's not too far. There's some other lakes, but I need to find some scenic places that I could just go and just sit and relax. Now it's not gonna be the same as the beach, I don't think, because like at the beach, you could just go like put a blanket down and sit and just like watch the ocean waves and the sound of the waves. I really miss that. And I don't know. It's just kind of a bummer because like, I kind of miss it, but I kind of don't miss it. So I went on a whole tangent there. Grant says, allergies have been bothering me as well. What the heck is there to be allergic to at this time of year? I don't know. I think I'm allergic to fall. I mean, maybe. Looks like my friends in Florida are going to experience a direct hit from Hurricane Milton. Oh no. Oh no. On that note, I hope everybody is praying for all the people with all the flooding from the Helene. I think is it Hurricane Helene? I don't really watch the news, but I mean, it's everywhere, like on all the feeds, any social medias that I watch. And it's just so sad and devastating. And I haven't really, like I said, I don't really watch the news, but I've heard stories of people just being swept away and just not having any like fresh water, not having, I mean, their whole basic existence has just been washed away. And it's just super tragic. It's just super sad and tragic. And, I don't really know, nowadays, like, it's hard. I think nowadays it's hard to like know who's telling the truth. Like, and what I'm saying about that is like, you know, you could donate money to places that helps, like the Red Cross and all these places and stuff. But then it's like you see, I'm just also making these things up because I don't really know the names, but like let's just pretend that you see like 2020 doing a report on like this certain organization is corrupt, or this CEO of this corporation that was supposed to be for charity like used all the money, and like, or this organization was funneling the money and like none of it went to, the people that were struggling or suffering. And it's like, it's a bummer because I want to donate to places that I know is going to directly help people that's going through whatever the tragedy is. And so it's like, I don't even know what to recommend anymore because you just never know. So I say all that to say, just maybe go online and research if you do want to donate some money or donate. I don't really know what else. Like, I don't know if they're accepting, like, especially if you live in a nearby state. Like, I don't know if they're accepting those types of donations, or if it's just like right now they're just trying to like help people get rescued. But, just do the best you can and pray for those people to get help, especially, like I said, the surrounding areas that haven't been demolished or hit. Maybe people are able to get donations that way and just like filter them in. But that's going to be a long road to recovery. And so I hope nobody on here has any family or friends that's been involved in that. I mean, it's just very sad. It's just very sad. So I really hope that they get some relief soon. And I really, really hope, because I heard there's a lot of people still missing, but I really hope that there's people that are kind of holed up somewhere. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate that. I heard, and I don't know, I never know what's true or false anymore, but I heard that there was like a good amount of people in a church building somewhere that was like still alive. And so I hope that's true. And I hope that maybe there's other pockets of people gathered. So anyways, I just really wanted to say that, to just keep everybody in the prayers and keep thinking about them. Don't forget about the people that are stranded, and just do your best to support however you can. And I really hope that, Hurricane Milton will redirect itself and go somewhere else that doesn't have people involved. Let's see. Hey, Linda, how are you? Debbie, thank you. Grant. I actually thought about AGTWNC last week because I know he lives in North Carolina. Yeah. I know. I was thinking of the people that, that I've come across, like, especially on these live streams or just in comments of people that I know that's in that area. And I was just thinking, man, like, I don't know what specific areas, but yeah, I hope that he's doing okay. And I hope that, the people that I know of that's come onto the live streams, that everyone's doing okay. And I mean, it's even hard to say that because it's like, I hope, but like, I hope this person's okay, but then, other people are not okay. So it's just sad. The whole thing is just sad. Linda says not FEMA or Red Cross. This is what I've heard. And I don't want to spread rumors and stuff like that because I have no idea. I don't know 100%, but I heard that. So I'm just kind of shying away. And then it's like, I think also because I listen to a lot of scam podcasts, and that's probably not healthy for my brain, but you got to stay aware, so you never know. Death Angel 1, Matthew 24:39, and they did not know or understand until the flood came and swept them all away. So will be coming of the Son of Man, from the Amplified Bible. Yeah, I mean, we don't know like what's going on, we don't know. There's all kinds of spiritual things that's always happening. Eric says chimney rock washed away. It's just sad. I mean, obviously human life is like above everybody, above everything, and then of course pets, that's very sad too. But human life is really the thing we should be focused on. But I will say that as a traveler, when major, like, I don't want to call them attractions, but like natural things get wiped away, like when Notre Dame in France got burned down. It's sad because there's a lot of history, and it's like, you just think about things that have been there for a very long time, and it's things that you could kind of be like, oh wow, there are people here like years ago, and I'm actually seeing this thing that's been here for lots of times. And when those things get wiped away or get burned or whatever, it's a bummer. It is just a bummer. And I know nothing lasts forever, but it's just still sad. Linda says, I have a few down there. The stories are horrid and it's not a rumor. I hear you. I mean, I've just heard little stories on social media that's just heartbreaking. Dove Angel says, Operation Blessing or Samaritan's Purse. Perhaps pray about it. Get to know God's still small voice and he will tell you. Yes. I mean, I definitely agree with that. Pray about whatever direction you go in terms of if you want to donate or whatever. And I've heard the Samaritan's Purse is good. I have donated to Samaritan's Purse recently before any of this flooding because I tithe every month. Like whatever money I've made in the month, I do a 10%, and I divide it by different organizations. I know you're supposed to give it to the church, and I do sometimes, but there's organizations that'll be Christian focused, or getting the good news, getting the word out, and I donate to them too, and I have donated to Samaritan's Purse. But yeah, I'd say pray about any decisions that you make, and hopefully God will guide wherever your money is going to go. Let's see, Linda, how does a hurricane travel 800 miles and mountaintops destroyed how high are they above sea level? I do not know. Chloe says the Cajun Navy has been a huge help. Oh, I never knew about a Cajun Navy. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Hot Tiger, hey, it just seems like it's every man for himself in the United States these days. Can't rely on government. I mean, it is like, I'm going to start making videos talking about stuff more. That sounds like basic, but I've just been noticing how many things are lies and fake and just, I don't know. It's just so much stuff. It's just so much stuff to even like try to parse through and research. But I'm a researcher at heart. I love to like look up stuff. And like, I mean, just a little basic thing. Today I went to go get groceries and I went to go to the little, butcher section to get some salmon. And in the case, there's like 3 or 4 different types of salmon. And like, you just think, okay, I'm sure one of these is going to be like wild caught, farm raised, whatever. But then you walk up on it and you see the little sign and it was like two or three of the 4 said whatever the kind of salmon, and then it says color added. And I'm just like, why? Why are you putting food coloring, like fake color? Like, we're not, I mean, maybe some people are, but I don't really know about those people. But like, as humans, we don't need the salmon to be bright pink. You know what I'm saying? Or like red. Like, we're used to it's being like a coral color, so I get visually, but like, I would rather it be white and look like mahi mahi or whatever kind of fish, but it's salmon, than someone to be adding colorings to fish. Like, why are we doing that? Like, why can't we just have regular human food? Like, not eating humans, because that's a different thing altogether. But I mean, why can't we just have food that's natural? And I just don't get it. I just don't get it. So of course I paid extra for the organic, non-color added salmon, and I just bought less, which is fine, because I'm not going to buy stuff that's like, the older I get, the more I'm concerned about what's going in my body. So I've been buying organic, which is another thing. Some of those organics you can't even trust, but I'm just going to start slow here. Just going to start trying to buy some organic stuff. But yeah, it's hard to know what's real and what's fake. Laura's Lanes. Hey, just saw this was on. Hey, Travel Sex. Hey. Good to see you. Linda says all volunteer helicopter pilots are doing great work. Sheriffs tried to jail them for rescue. That's weird and dumb. But that's good that they're getting some helicopters going in there for rescue missions. That's good to hear. I hope people get rescued swiftly so that they can get out of that situation. Let's see. My changes of watching MSM. Is that like MSN? I don't know. MSM multi. I'm not sure what that is. Mainstream media. I was like, I knew it's in my tip of my tongue. Mainstream. Yeah. Don't get me started on mainstream media. This is not a political channel. However, I have my strong thoughts about mainstream media. I think we got away from, like, remember in the news like years ago, and they would just like literally be like, oh, I don't know when this song like dun 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 dun, and then he'd be like, dun, dun, and then like all those like people go up and like they have their tie on, and it'd be like a guy, and he'd be, Walter Cronkite or I don't know, something. It was just like news, like actual news, and like news you can count on. But I don't know if that was fake back then too. So now I'm like suspicious. But I think years ago at some point there was just news, like people would come on TV or even the radio, and then they would just say this thing happened, and then you can just form your own opinion. Now you're just basically being told what to believe, and it's hard to know what to believe. So yeah, I try to stay away from mainstream media. Chloe says that's why TikTok is so important for us. Yeah, I see TikTok both ways, and I do watch TikTok. It's hard to just know, because there's also people that are paid to get on social media to talk about different things. And then you think, oh, this person's like a real person. And then they've been paid to make videos. So I don't mean like paid as a creator. I just mean like paid from organization. So anyway, I just go on TikTok to watch funny videos, but I hear what you're saying. Laura's Lane says, Red 5 is bugs. Ew, that's disgusting. And I believe it. Hot Tiger, yeah, our food in the U.S. is terrible. Yes, I am on a whole, like, especially because, like, I'm so much into food, like travel snacks, and it's like I'm really trying to make really wholesome, better choices. And it's very hard to even do that because a lot of the food is just so processed and disgusting. Yes, paying extra for all natural organic food is ridiculous. Definitely. Linda says poison in our foods, fake, hardly any food. I've traveled out of the country and they are beyond appalled. Yes. And when I went, and I'm going to show you guys my soup in a second that I made. This is going to tie in. But when I did travel to Europe, it's like the food was freshly prepared with real ingredients. And so it's like you look at like people in Italy, like they're eating pasta and drinking wine pretty much and eating bread with every meal. And they're not really getting like obese or whatever. And it's because I think it's because they don't gorge down their food, they eat it like normal. And then they also have fresh ingredients, like they're making the stuff like right then. And they, from the places that I went, like they make the fresh pasta and that takes time. So like by the time you finish that process and it's like you're eating, it's like they're not rushing through and just like, you know. So it's like there's just a lot going on with how different it is in other countries, like with their food and their process of making food as compared to here. And it's like it shouldn't be a luxury to have good food. It should be the standard. And I also have strong opinions and feelings about overeating and overconsumption, which every person in America is guilty of, including myself. But it's like, what was the name of that restaurant? And I'm not calling them out just specifically for this reason, but what was the one? Um, now I forgot the name of it. But they had like, it's not Cheesecake Factory, but it's like something like that. And it was like a place that their portions were like gigantic. Like they would serve you up this big platter of food. And then their cakes were like one slice of cake was like so tall. One of you is going to know it because you guys are smart and you guys always have the answers. But it was just like massive. And then that kicked off like other restaurants, like giving people gigantic portions that you could not eat like at the restaurant. Like you had to take food home. And it's like now I notice that lots of restaurants overserve, right? So now we're used to that. And so if you go to a restaurant and they serve a normal minimal portion for a regular adult human, then we're just like, oh, their portions were so small. But it's like that's actually real portions. There's just so much like I'm learning. I have to go have a ride on Lyft. I'm a Lyft. Oh, awesome. Enjoy. Nice to see you too. Van Lifer RX, good to see you again. I'm here to support you. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to see you. Deaf Angels, because, oops, I lost my place. Because we're in the end times and the people were excessively wicked before Noah's flood. And it's in the same way that the wickedness just shows in different ways and it's encroaching on people's health. Yeah. Hey, Mimi, how are you? Can't believe I actually landed during live chat. We've missed you. Thank you. I've missed you too. Thank you. Good to see you. Laura's Lanes, it's all brainwashing now. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Yes, if you haven't already, pop a like on it. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Good evening. Question everything. Yes, it's like the saying, like trust but verify. I agree. It's like now I look, and it's like hard because there's things like throughout your life, you're just going about doing things. But now I really try to take a pause and think, like, what am I putting in my mouth? Like, what am I eating? Is this real food? If I'm paying a bill, like, what are all these extra fees? Because there's lots of overcharging going on for things I don't even know what they are. And they'll try to get you on little things. And, most people aren't paying attention. Just all kinds of stuff. So yeah, question, look up things, trust, don't just trust it, like make sure you look. Laura's like, news people just read scripts by those who want to put out what they want. No. Yes, I agree. Hey, the free will and nomad. I have a question. Are you 100% set on selling event? I think you should keep it and just use it on vacation, quick trip things. Get out and get away from things for a while. I am 100%. I'll just say 99 because I don't ever want to say 100%, but 99% selling the van because I don't foresee like I can't keep two vehicles. Like I'm in an apartment and you got to pay extra for extra spaces. So I don't need two vehicles. Plus it's been like when I was in Vegas last year, I think I've only went out in my van one or two times since then, which was what? That would have been like April or May of last year. And so it's like it does seem appealing just to be like, oh, let me just go out for a weekend here or there. And I thought about it. But if I'm going to do, like, I just feel like the van was created to, it's like a mini apartment. And it just seems like such a waste for it to just sit there, And, and like, for example, I was gone, which I'll segue over to now. I was gone in Chicago for a week. And it's like, then my van is just sitting there and it's like, I need to start the van and let it run and stuff like that. And then now that I have a car, it's like, you got to start the van every now and again, or else it's going to, not start, So it's just an extra thing that I need to think about. And I just want, all the hard work that my dad and I put in, I want it to be a benefit to somebody else. So I've definitely thought about that. Thank you for the heart emojis. I appreciate that. I've definitely thought about it a lot. And there was a time where I landed on, I'm just going to keep it and I'll just keep it for weekend trips. But like, I just think that if I ever want to go out and do that, then like I could rent a van or an RV, or I could just get a hotel, or I really loved, well, in the past, it's different now. I loved Airbnb, like, trying new Airbnbs, or like go stay in like a yurt or like a castle or like something weird and different, a tree house. And there's lots of different things that I want to explore in my life. And van life has been wonderful. And, maybe in the future I will do it again. I don't know. But today I just want to try a lot of different things. And a lot of it's going to be international travel. And so I just feel like my van's going to be sitting there most of the time. So, even though it would be nice to keep it for the occasional time, I don't think it would be worth it. So anyways, Clark says, because it is often Atlantic farm raised salmon and not natural pink. People do not know the difference between farm raised and wild. Farm raised are naturally milky white. And that's okay. The fish is the fish. I mean, let's not be racist against the fish. If they're white fish, then they could just be white fish. Like, it's okay. We don't need to dye them in a different color. And I would be totally fine eating a white salmon fish, just like cooking it and just eating it just like, I don't know, like all the other fish are white, you know what I'm saying? Mostly, I don't know. I'm not a fishologist, but it's like, just because I'm mentally used to seeing pink salmon doesn't mean that I have to eat pink salmon. But I know some people that would probably be like, oh, salmon is stale because it's white. It's like, people need to just be educated, Chosen by God, protected by Jesus. Amen. I made a pumpkin roll and cooked some crushed pecans with brown sugar and butter. Oh, goodness. Placed that outside the roll against a coating of cream cheese frosting, homemade. Yummy. That sounds delightful. Also, I really haven't been drinking coffee, but today I went into a grocery store that had a Starbucks, and I got the smallest one, but I got they have a new drink called Pecan Crunch Oat Milk Latte, iced. And I don't even have to add any extra pumps of classic or extra syrups. It was really good. It was sweet enough, and it was delightful. I've pretty much not been drinking coffee. I'm just trying to like get away from all the extra creamers and sugars and stuff like that. So anyways, Yeah, so this past week I was in Chicago and I went there with my job. There was a not a conference, but like a offsite, on-site, whatever you want to call it, where my department and a couple other departments got together just to like go over goals for the upcoming year. And it was just really cool. And stayed in downtown Chicago, which I've never really stayed in downtown before. And all these years I've been like, oh, I don't like Chicago. I don't care about Chicago. But it's like, I've never really stayed in downtown and I was really impressed. It's another thing that I mentioned in my last video, I'm trying to do is to like not prejudge things that I've done in the past or thought about in the past. I'm trying to just like take each day and each experience like it's brand new. And of course, we can rely on our experiences in life to tell us certain things, but there's certain things that we have stories for, that we're like, oh, like I don't like this or I don't like that, or this happened to me, so I'm like, I know for sure this thing is this. And it's like sometimes those are still just stories that we've told all the time or told ourselves. And so I went with an open mind because like my joke is always like, both my ex-husbands are from Chicago, so I don't have good luck with Chicago. But it's just like a funny thing that I started saying years ago, but then I started saying it and believing it. So it's like, I think we say things sometimes as a joke, and then it's like, we just repeat it so much that we start to believe it. So I was like, let me just go here and stop being silly and just embrace Chicago. And it was really beautiful. Like there's so many beautiful parts. Would I want to live in Chicago? No, I wouldn't. But their downtown is really, really nice. Like it's probably the closest thing to New York vibes that I get, like in terms of city, because it is pretty big. Like when I go to downtown Dallas, it's like a small downtown. Like and it's the streets are crowded. I don't know. It's not the same. But Chicago was really good. I went and had deep dish pizza. And I filmed a lot of this, which I'll make some videos probably in the coming weeks or whatever. I had deep dish pizza, which I've had in the past and I didn't love, and I gave it a shot again, and it was just fine. Like I don't love it. It's not my favorite type of pizza. My favorite type of pizza is like Detroit style, like more bread, less topping. I had a Chicago dog, which I don't think I've ever had before, which was pretty good. And I went and got Garrett's popcorn. Thank you for all the emojis. Garrett's popcorn is famous. You can get like a mixture of caramel and cheese, and it's expensive, but I got a bag of that. I was able to go see that big silver bean, which was really cool. I walked over to the Navy Pier, which was really cool. Let's see. I went to the Starbucks Reserve, which I never heard of before, but it's like a 4-story building. And they have just like specialty coffees or whatever. And that was really cool too. But yeah, there was lots to do in Chicago, and it was expensive. Thank God I wasn't paying for that because it was a company trip, but the hotel was expensive. The flight was not that expensive from Texas, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I would put Chicago on the list. I would go back to Chicago. But now that I've just went there, I don't really care about going back anytime soon. But if you haven't gone, it is a cool vibe. And it wasn't that cold. It was actually really nice. Like majority of the time I had just like a light sweater on, and I would end up just taking off the sweater, and it was just like a nice, it should be colder in Chicago by now, but it was pretty nice. So anyways, that's my week, and I'm going to read some of these comments, and then I'm going to go show you my kitchen and my soup and tell you about the soup. So Laura's Lane says, I've studied food for over 10 years and took a year of wellness coaching. I learned so much about how not to eat and the poisons change, not the poisons change your life, but how not to eat and the poisons, and it changed your life. And that's amazing. And that's like kind of the journey I'm on. I don't know that I'm going to like go to school for it, but that's like, I've really been on this like mission to eat more healthfully and way less processed foods, and try to eat things that are like real. Hey, Angela from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Awesome. Sadly, research M or an N are being injected into tomatoes and fruits, basically foods that God created. So definitely pray over everything. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Laura says, remember, Noah tried to warn others. They didn't listen. Lot of that going on these days. Yes, indeed. Hey, Mountain Wanderer, how are you? Good to see your name pop up. Yay. Linda, is too expensive for owning more than you will drive. Yes, exactly. David, I don't mean to bring bad news all the time, but here's some good news. How about starting to pray about the tribulation saints that'll be left behind after the rapture? Amen to that. Hey, Pops in the house. Hey, welcome. If I buy your van, will you come with it? Well, no, I don't think so. That would be pretty expensive. And then that would be like buying a person. So that's probably not a good way to go. Let's see. Linda, I'm originally from south of Chicago. Awesome. Yeah, Chicago's got a pretty good vibe. Like, I've been to other parts of Chicago too, but the downtown was pretty nice. Downtown Chicago is pretty but very windy. P.S. I am not from Chicago. Yeah, it was pretty windy. I mean, it wasn't like windy all the time, but as you got closer to the water, it was pretty windy. All right, so talking about food, I was watching some videos and I saw this girl who I watch sometimes. She's a vegan. I eat a lot of plant-based stuff, but I do eat meat like 2 times a week. But anyways, and I saw that she was making this soup, this minestrone. And she was talking about, like, have you guys heard of like the blue zones? The blue zones, like, I think there's a Netflix special or Hulu or something about these particular few zones in the world that has the most centenarians, people that are over 100 years old. And one of them is in Italy and then some other places. And then one of them is in Loma Linda, California, which I grew up in California and I've been to Loma Linda, and it's a weird place to have like people that are 100 years old because it's just like a random place in California. It's random. But anyways, I guess they interviewed one of the families that has, like, this family in Italy, Sardinia, Italy, has the most 100-year-olds in their family, like siblings. They're all over 100. And they asked them, like, what do you eat? And they said that we have this same minestrone soup every day. And they have it with a piece of sourdough bread and a glass of wine. Now, I don't drink, but I was thinking maybe I should start to dip my toe into, not in the wine, but like dip my toe into the wine drinking world. Just like maybe if like I had like a fourth of a cup of wine every day. I'm going to do some research on that because I don't know. Like, I don't know. But obviously, if I do that, then it's going to have to be like really pure, good wine, like that's good for your body. But I don't know. I've never researched that portion because I don't drink. So let's just put that to the side. But I do like a good sourdough bread. I tried to make sourdough bread a few months ago. It failed really poorly. Like, it was really bad. And so I'm not going to make sourdough bread, but I bought a half of a loaf from Whole Foods today. And then I made this soup. So I just found the recipe on, I guess, like the Blue Zone website. And so let me tell you what's in it, and then I'll show you how mine turned out. I think I probably should have added more water, but hopefully I'm still connected. Okay. All right. So basically it's called Sardinia Minestrone, and it's got, okay, so I had to make some substitutions because I couldn't find some of these things or some of the things I didn't want to put in. And I kind of just did my own variations. So it calls for a half a cup of peeled fava beans. I don't know about fava beans except for like Silence of the Lambs. When I think he talks about fava beans, I'm not really sure. So I don't know about that. And I didn't really want to try something new. And then they're half a cup of cranberry beans, which I also had to look that up. now that I looked it up, I'm like, oh, that seems like something I've seen before, but I tried to find it and I couldn't find it. And then a third cup of dried chickpeas. So all these would be dried and you soak them overnight, but I didn't really look at the recipe. Like, I just bought canned instead of soaking these overnight. So what I did instead, so I didn't put any of those beans. I used pinto beans and cannellini beans, white beans, instead. So those are the two beans that I put in there. So they say you can pretty much do any bean, like obviously if I could find the cranberry beans, I'd probably put that and maybe the fava beans the next time. But for now, I just kept it with beans I know, pinto beans and cannellini beans. All right. So then some extra virgin olive oil, which I don't really eat oils. Like I've learned a lot about oil is 100% pure fat. So basically I try not to put extra oils, but I use like the smallest amount in the bottom of the pan so that I could saute my onions and celery and carrots. So, I mean, I'm talking like, I think it was like a third of a teaspoon. I mean, I'm talking like a teeny amount. And then, so I just bought the mirepoix, and I know that sounds funny, but I never knew what mirepoix was until a few years ago. And so they sell it at Walmart. It's a mixture of diced carrots, diced onions, and diced celery. So if someone says mirepoix, that's what that means. And so I just got it already pre-diced at Walmart. And so all you do is you put a little bit of olive oil, put the mirepoix, the diced stuff in there, let it get a little bit soft. Then you put 2 teaspoons of crushed or like minced garlic, which smelled really good. Mix that in there. Then my mouth is watering. I've already eaten. But after you do that, then you put a whole can of crushed tomatoes. That's the big 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. And then you put 3 medium yellow potatoes, which I will tell you this, I should have pre-boiled, like parboiled these potatoes because it took forever when you're simmering the soup. So I should have probably put the potatoes a little bit like halfway boiled. But anyways, you put in the potatoes. It calls for 1.5 cups of chopped fennel, which would have given it a different flavor, but I like fennel, but I didn't really want to start with that flavor. So I skipped that. And then a 1/4 cup of loosely packed fresh Italian flat leaf parsley, which is just like parsley. So I did buy the fresh parsley and I chopped it up. And then fresh basil, which I found as well. So I chopped that up. And then it doesn't call for this, but I actually chopped up some fresh baby spinach and put that in there like really fine. Salt and pepper. And then it doesn't call for this, but I added garlic salt, a bunch of onion powder, a little bit of pepper, salt and pepper, and then I think that was it. Those were all the seasonings. And let's see. And then basically just let that go on a simmer for like an hour and a half. So it just like became all like soupy, but the potatoes were still taking too long. So I actually turned up for like a boil for like an extra 10 minutes until the potatoes were soft. Now it tells you like after the fact, or actually, okay, let me not get ahead of myself. So then once it's like all like pretty much souped up. Oh wait, I'm sorry. You got to put like 4 cups of water. You're supposed to put water enough until it covers like an inch over all your stuff that's in there. Then you let it go. Then after like an hour and a half, then you put your pasta in. So minestrone usually I think has like the little, they're not macaronis, but they're like, I don't know the kind of noodle, but you know what I'm talking about. The kind of minestrone noodle. I didn't do that. I used orzo pasta, which I personally like. But this Blue Zone one calls for 2/3 cup of Sardinian Fregula Israeli couscous or acini di pepe pasta. So I guess it doesn't matter. You can put whatever pasta you want, but I used orzo. And then you let that boil for 10, like obviously you need the noodles, whatever noodles, you need them to be soft. So you basically boil it all up and it turns into this good soup. And I also added a bay leaf as well, which I already took out. And then when you serve it, you can grate some Romano, let's see, Pecorino Romano or even Parmesan, and then squirt a little lemon on there. Now, I already ate dinner earlier because this soup took 400 years to make. Not really, but I was already just too hungry. So I'm gonna go take you over to show it to you. But when you do eat it, you can use the cheese on top. I probably won't because that's extra calories, but you do want to squirt a little bit of lemon and it brings out the flavors. And this soup is going to be so much better when I eat it tomorrow. And so it makes a lot. So I'm gonna just have a lot of soup for this whole week. And I'm going to probably just try to eat it every day for lunch. So let's unplug that. And let me take you over to my kitchen. Let's see. So that's my kitchen. Also, if you guys notice, let's see how I can see this picture right there. That's the one Grant's wife made me. All right, so here's my kitchen. And let's see, how do I show you this? Well, it doesn't look super appetizing right this minute, but let's see. I'm holding my actual laptop, so this is not, but it's been sitting for a while, obviously. But you could see that it's kind of more like a stew. And they said that you could add more water to it if you like a more of a brothy soup. I kind of like a chunky soup. And once I make a bowl of this, I could put a little bit more water in there. But these orzo is like these little oval looking things. But it looks good. I might have like a teeny little bowl after this live stream just to make sure it's pretty good. But it looks mighty tasty. So this soup is supposed to help you to live to be 100 years old. And I would imagine because there's all this fresh stuff in there, and you got the potatoes, which is really makes you full. The beans are super good for you. Super good for you. Got a lot of fiber in there. And then there's no real sugary situation in here. So it's all vegetable-y, and all that. So you might want to give that a try. And then I got this little half loaf of this sourdough because I'm just one person. I'm probably not going to be able to eat all that. And then I went to Panera Bread a couple days ago, and I have some leftover bread. So that's that. All right. So that's pretty much it. All right, so let's see. Hey, Angie's Creative Studio from Arkansas. Awesome. Hey, Lee Smith. Tim is live streaming right now. Oh, tell him I said hi. I need to call Tim and chat with him. That's funny that we're both live streaming at the same time. Hey, Jenny, how are you? I love your spirit, brain, and humor. I'm so glad you're back because when I can't get my girl time with my friends, your combos are a great substitute. Good, smart brain. Thank you so much. It feels good to be back. I'm just getting more back, used to being, on the live streams and making videos. And I'm actually going to be filming a video tomorrow, but it's going to just be an updated van tour, which will be kind of cool for those that have never really seen my van in detail. So it's kind of going to be an updated van tour, and it's kind of going to be for it to be available. So if somebody wants to buy it, they can see all the stuff that's on the inside. And there is one little surprise that I've never shared on my van that'll be included in there too. So you're going to want to watch the video. I think it'll probably come out on Wednesday or Thursday because I need to film it after work tomorrow, edit it, and so it'll probably go up on Wednesday. So it does feel good to be back. And yeah, I researched foods, and what we have in our foods is alarming. Lead's banned from paint because children can lick walls. It's very dangerous, but apparently the FDA is okay with having lead in our foods. Facts. I agree with that. Jenny says, the Lord knows I'm not going to get good compost from my labs. Oh, that's funny. Hey, Rose, how are you? Thanks, Michelle. Jenny says, you're in an apartment now. That's a great apartment. That soup looks good. I haven't eaten dinner yet. I love the color of that pot. I have a love of cookware. I obsess over it. That pot is just like a basic pot that I got from TJ Maxx or Marshall's, one of those. But it's a good, like, it's a good one. And thank you for the compliments. Yes, I am in an apartment now, like a real person, but I'm still a nomad at heart, and I'm still nomading when I can. And thank you for the nice compliments. Lens Go Deep. Hey, from Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. Awesome. Love it. Love it. Yes, it's good to see you too. Jackie isn't watching, but I let her know she's got an honorable mention. Awesome. Awesome. I love it. All right. So we're already at an hour. So I want to play a couple rounds of Would You Rather, and then we're going to wrap it up for the night because it's Sunday and, we got to get it together and get ourselves together for the week. And I might have a little teeny bowl of that soup. I mean, I'm talking just like almost less than like a mug's worth, because I ate some dinner earlier and I'm still kind of full from that. So I don't really want to, I just want to try this soup. Michelle says, it's good that it now seems you're no longer under the YouTube pressure that I've been seeing other creators going through now. Yes. It feels so much better now that it's not like my life is depending on the videos. So now I feel more free to just, make the videos that I want to make, that I want to talk about, and just really remember why I'm doing YouTube is just to, share stuff with people and have a fun time. And whoever watches is great. It makes me feel happy. Rose says, gotta love a good heavy soup pot. Yes. Pop says, where do you want to go internationally? I want to go pretty much everywhere, but I really want to go to Bali. I want to go to Singapore. I want to go to Thailand. So I haven't been to Asia yet, so I really want to go. I want to go to Africa, pretty much anywhere. I haven't been to London. I haven't been to, I want to go to Norway. At some point I would like to go to India and Egypt, but I don't know about that right now. And then of course, maybe I'd like to go to Australia and New Zealand, but that's I would like to go, but it's not at the top of my list. But those are a lot of the places that I'd like to go. Yes. Okay. So we're going to play a couple rounds of Would You Rather. And for those that are new, thank you for being here. But the way we play it is I'm just going to say a question and it'll just be would you rather do this or that? And it's just a game. It's just not real life, but it's just a fun game. And you just put your answer in the chat, and then we're going to see, how we all choose things in our lives. So it's just fun. Let's see. Let me turn on my app. Oh, this is a rough one. This is a rough one. Okay, so this first one is, would you rather be smart and ugly or be stupid and beautiful? Now that's kind of a weird question. And I know that's not politically correct because, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You know what I'm saying? So, but I guess for this purposes, you could just in your imaginationals just be whatever you think is pretty and ugly, you could just put that in your brain and decide, would you rather be, good looking in your way, or be good looking and dumb, or be smart and not good looking? Now, it doesn't define on these would you rathers, like, when it says smart and ugly, like, are we talking like, you know, like when I think of ugly, I think of more like a witch, like a scary witch with like warts and like hair coming out of the warts on the face, and like just like almost your face is like green. Like, I guess I think of a monster, but I don't know. That's like an extreme version of ugly, I guess. But I guess you could just be like mildly ugly. I don't really know. But would you rather be smart and ugly, or would you rather be stupid and beautiful? And it doesn't also define what stupid is. So, are you just like some of the girls that you've seen on the movies, like Clueless? Remember the girl, and she was just kind of like, just not street smart, and also just like said just dumb things. I don't really know. But that's the question. I didn't make up the question. I'm just looking at an app that has these would you rather questions. All right. So, and then we get to guess what your would you rather. Yeah. So what we used to do, and we could do that today, is once you guys put in your answer, you can guess to like what you think I'm going to say. Do you think I'm going to say I'd rather be smart and ugly or stupid and beautiful? Which one? Which one would you rather? You choose your thing, and then you say which one if you think I'm going to choose. And then I'll reveal it, and then we'll move on to the next one. And we're only going to do a couple of them because usually I like to keep these to like an hour, hour and a half. And it's kind of already getting late, especially for the East Coast people. Not late, but and you got to work. It's like you want to get your pajamas on, you want to take your shower and get ready, blah, blah, blah. Jenny says, one of my BFFs loves Norway and her picks were incredible. I love when you play this game. Yay. I would love to go to Norway. That's definitely a place I'd like to go. All right. So coming through right away, Nate says smart. And Grant says, that's easy. I'm already smart and ugly. Oh, you're not ugly, Grant. Rose says, I'd rather be smart. There is no ugly except ugly hearts and actions. Boom. Also, if you choose your answer, you can say why you chose that answer also, just so we can all this one's kind of straightforward, but you could be like, okay, why did somebody choose this? And this is how we get to know each other. Like, this is how people get to like understand people, because it's like, I think there's so much judgment going on in this world that, it's like sometimes people choose things for specific reasons. All right. Jenny says smart and ugly because I'd be smart enough to figure out how to become pretty. Boom. There you go. Michelle says smart and ugly since beauty flows from the inside. Bam. Pop says dumb and ugly. No, I'm sure you're not. Eric, you guys don't be mean to yourself. That's not true. Rose says, I think you'd rather be smart. Mountain Wanderer says you pick smart and ugly. Jenny says, if you YouTube The Bishop's Wife, Youth and Beauty, Cary Grant gives the best short speech on youth and beauty. Okay. Hey, and Angelia from North Carolina. Oh, I hope everything's going okay for you. Pop says, I refuse to guess which one you are picking. You are smart and beautiful. P.S. I'm not hitting on you, just honest. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Has everybody had a chance to answer? I'm going to give a couple more seconds, and then I'm going to reveal what my answer is. Bum. All right. No more. Nobody else wants to answer. All right. So my answer, you guys got it right, is I would definitely rather be smart and ugly. I don't care. Obviously, the older I get, I'm trying to hold on to my youth, and I'm trying to I don't want to be getting wrinkles and these lines right here and just my hooded eyelids. Of course, I'm trying to I need to, special creams or whatever, or some plastic surgery or whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to be a dum-dum. I don't want to be a dummy, because it's like, I mean, if you're dumb, maybe like ignorance is bliss. I don't know, because I don't think I am dumb. So it's like people that are truly just not smart. I wonder if they care that they're not smart, or if they're just like living their best dumb life. Maybe they are. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, I'm saying, like, maybe they just don't know that they don't know things. Or maybe they know that they don't know things and they just don't care. I don't know. But I still want to know things. Like, I'm a curious person. So I'm always looking up stuff, researching stuff, learning stuff, doing new things. So I never want to be dumb or stupid. So I'll definitely take the ugly stick to the face if I have to, because I'm definitely want to stay smart. Let's see. Grant says you'll say smart and ugly. You don't come across as a vain person. I try not to be. Lee says Bill Gates don't care what he looks like. I mean, true. So yeah, I mean, also, have you seen that there's like, this is objective, okay? Like, or is it subjective? I guess subjective, because what I think is pretty or ugly is not the same as what other people think is pretty or ugly. Like, everyone has their own, yeah, I guess that's subjective, right? Everyone has their own views, but have you seen some people that are like actors, rappers, musicians, football players, like all these famous people, and some of them are not cute. Like, they are ugly. And they still make a lot of money. They still pull women, they still pull men, they still, get married, Ugly people get married too. Like, they still have good lives. I see it all the time walking around and I'm like, how did that girl get that hot guy, or vice versa? But it's like they're living their best lives, and that's judgmental of me. I understand I'm saying that. But also, it doesn't matter. Like a couple of you said, it's like you could like be not cute outside, but like internally, you could be like the best person ever, and vice versa. There's some really beautiful people, like externally, that are ugly on the inside. And I definitely wouldn't even be with like the best looking guy if he was ugly inside. Like, I don't care. I would rather stay alone the rest of my life, because I'm not going to be with somebody that's like an ugly human being. All right. So with this app, it tells you like on the app, like what people voted for. So 62% said that they'd rather be smart and ugly, and only 38% said they'd be stupid and beautiful. So I think most of us, or all of us, said we'd rather be smart. So we're kind of aligned with what the majority of the people said. All right. Let's see. Subjective. Thank you. Geniuses are typically very unattractive to me anyways. Yeah, you never know. Pop says the original meaning of the word ignorant was someone who ignored facts. They were all narcissists. Oh, that is interesting. I did not know that. Good little research there. All right, so let's just do one more, and then we'll kind of like wrap it up. Oh man, this is an interesting one that I just skimmed, so I don't really know what I would say. All right, get ready. Would you rather, this is about time travel, okay? Would you rather time travel to change your past, your personal past, or would you rather use time travel to change history? So I guess one is a more personal thing, and the other one is change history, like an event or something. So which one would you rather? And then once you've said what you think, or what you think, then you can say what you think I'm going to say, because that's heavy. I don't really know, because I'm trying to think of if there's anything in my past that I feel that strongly about that I would want to change. Like, of course, I regret things. There's things that I wish were different, but if you have the option to change history in a bigger way, like as a Christian, this question is like, I wouldn't do either. Okay. Like for the Christians out there, this is just a game. We're not actually going against God or the Bible. This is just a game. This isn't actually going to happen. There's no time travel. But so if in the real lives, I wouldn't change anything. But for this game, I think like, even if I wanted to change something from the past, which one thing would I change? Because when you change one thing, it could affect other things and it could be better, or it could make things 100 times worse. Like when you play God, when you change things, things change. That was super deep. Never mind. I guess I'm not that smart. I'll stay pretty. All right. I'm just kidding. But it's a weird question because like part of me is like, I'll just be selfish and just like change a few things or change at least one thing. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Thank you for the heart emojis. All right, let me see what you guys are. Okay. Grant. Nate says too heavy. Rose says probably time travel to talk to myself. Okay. Grant says I would definitely rather change my past. Ooh, that's interesting. And now, of course, I'm so nosy. I'm like, what would you change? If you feel, not you, Grant, but like if anybody feels comfortable, like something that they would change, put it in, or what event in history you would change, put it in the comments. But if you don't feel comfortable, it's okay. I am nosy, but I'm not like a pushy person. Let's see. Michelle says, I wouldn't want to do either. Same. But for the game, I will pick one later. Mountain Wanderer says, I would totally change my past and not marry the ball and chain. Ooh, Rose says, I think changing history could be a dangerous thing. True. Hey, Lewis, how are you? Better late than never, and we're glad to see you. I would change myself. I could have saved my first marriage. History is in God's hands. Facts. Grant says, changing my past would just affect my life, but changing history would affect everyone. Ooh, that's deep. See, I was thinking of it like as a selfish thing, but you know what? I think you're right. I think it's less selfish. This is why I love the snack pack. This is why I love you guys, because it's like, I didn't even think of it that way. It's like, yeah, like you're taking it upon yourself to make decisions for everybody else. But like surface level, I initially think like if you choose to change history, you're probably trying to do it to like, for example, like I would change like not having the Holocaust, like not having certain major things happen. But then like, when you do that, other things could change and it could be a different like dictator that pops up or like, I don't know. There's a lot going on there. But that's actually a good point. Rose says, now could changing my personal history change history as a butterfly effect? That's a good point too, because like, I'm just making this up now. It's like, what if you personally like give birth to some person and then like that person becomes a certain person that does either evil or good, but like you change your past, so then maybe you don't have that person, and then that person's never born, and then it just does a different thing, and that affects the whole history. Or if somebody you give birth to has like a cure for a disease or like something. So that's also, this is too deep for 7:50 on a Sunday night. That is a tough one. A tiny change would change the entire world, everything. We can't control all changes, and they could turn everything upside down. I would not change a thing. I think you're right. It could potentially change some around you, but it wouldn't be as widespread as changing history. It's a good point. Yeah, it's like you never know. Like you never know. Like if this was real life, I would decline that. I'd be like, I don't want that responsibility. But for the game, I don't know what I would choose. I don't know what I would choose. What do you guys think I'm going to choose? Okay, let me think really for a second. Okay, I've decided what I would. What do you guys think I'm going to choose? Great. Not having this live stream tonight could have changed history. You never know. You never know. I mean, you know how they always say, like, if you like if you left like, 10 seconds earlier or later, you could avoid like a traffic accident or like, those like little moments that could change everything. So it's like, you never know. Like having this live stream could have prevented somebody from going to the store and getting in an accident or whatever. I don't know. There's so many different things. We are a network. We are all linked in one way or another. A tiny change in one's life can change the world. It's true. It's true. Rose says, as much as I love time traveling books, I wouldn't want to choose either. Yeah, I do like a good time travel book. I like that. Like, I like fantasy type books. Like, that's different. That's like mysterious or otherworldly. But I just, still recognize that we're like in real life here. Thank you for all the hearts. Let's see. Nate says self. Michelle says your life. Not wonder, but you wouldn't know if things changed anyways. Really, reality would still be whatever is in the present. Oh, that's even more deep. That's so true. Man, you wouldn't know. There's a book. It's by the same author as Tuesdays with Maury, but I forget the name of it. But it's like, one of you will probably know this too. I forget the name of the book, but I read it years ago, and it was like something happened, but like that person didn't know that happened. Like, I'm just making this up because I can't remember, but like a kid threw a ball or something and went in the street, and like the person was driving but didn't realize that like when that person went to go get the ball, another car hit that person and that person died, but the person driving didn't realize. Like, I don't know, I just made that up because it was like something like that. It's like that person driving still didn't know that when they stopped for that ball, something else happened. So it's like, you're right. Like you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know because things are happening all around us now. Like I'm sitting in my apartment. There's a million things that are happening that I have no clue about, no clue, but things are still happening. It's good. That's a good, deep conversation. Pop says neither. Hey, Rebecca, how are you? Good evening. Got power back. Trees cleared out of yard. Awesome. Oh, that's good to hear. Glad you got your power back. Back to the Future, my all-time favorite movie. Ooh, love it. Did I tell you that I went to see Back to the Future, the play, when I went to New York? It was pretty awesome. I took some footage of that too, and I'll put that in a future video. Michelle says, I would choose to change my past. Okay, awesome. Grant says, you would change your past instead of history. No matter, you choose changing something negative in history. Pop says, we can tell what happened, but we can't tell what is prevented. Ooh, prevented from happening. True. Lee says, is the soup done yet? The soup is done. The soup is done. It's off the heat right now, and it's just like sitting in the pot, and I need to put it in some like a glass dish with a lid when I'm done here. Rose says, the you who traveled would know, but the you who changed wouldn't. Dude, but aren't you the same you? Stuff like that like twists my brain a lot. But you're right. You going would know, but when you wouldn't know. That's deep. Yes, Grant, I did. I went to Back to the Future, the play, the Broadway, off Broadway, Broadway, whatever play. Yes, it was really awesome. And if you ever get to New York or if you ever have that opportunity, you should see it. It was really fantastic. Lou says, Allison, your live streams are still so interesting, philosophical, and deep. I will be thinking about this all night. I mean, it's good to think about stuff like this. It doesn't even have to be real life, but it's like it gets your brain juices going. And it's like, instead of like worrying about things, because, my brain can be spiral about things that's just happening in my life. But it's like when I think of stuff like this, that's not like gonna ever happen. It gives my brain something to like think about. So that's true. All right. So my answer is I would change something from my past. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate that. At first, I was going to choose the one about changing something in history, but there is so many things in history that it's like, of course, I think people think about the most major ones like wars and stuff like tragic things. But it's like, which one would you choose? Because then putting you're putting yourself as like the chooser of who gets to live or die. Because like you could say, okay, well, I will change like Hitler not being born or whatever. But then it's like, okay, that takes care of like all the people that died there. But then, or you could have said, well, I'll choose for like 9/11 to not have happened. So those people are going to live. But like all the people from the past already died. So like like if you could only pick one thing in history, which one would you choose? Because you're basically not going to be able to save everybody. Okay, so then I was like, okay, I'll change something from my past. And the first, like, I'm sure there's lots of things that I've changed, but the first thing that I thought of was that I would have more time with my Nana, my mom's mom, and also my mom's dad too. But he died when I was like in my last year of high school, so I didn't know him as well, although I'd love to have spent more time with him. And my dad's dad and my dad's mom also died a long time ago. But my Nana, I would think of all my grandparents I was the closest to her. And I just wish she would have lived longer. I mean, she was like 87, don't get me wrong. She wasn't like young, but like she smoked for a lot of time in her younger years and she was on oxygen and stuff. And I just think like I wonder if she would have never like smoked all those years, if she would have lived like another, 3, 5, 10 years longer. If she could have ate some of the soup with me, we could have both lived till our hundreds. But I think that was the first initial thought, was like, of course I could think about like, oh, I wouldn't marry, this person, or I wouldn't have dated this person, or if I blah blah blah. You can think about that. But like I think of all the people, the losses, like I think my Nana was the closest one that I would be like, I would have loved to have more time, you know? So I think when you think about changing the past, it's like, I think it's important about the people, in your life, in your personal life. And yeah, so that's kind of what I would choose. If I only had one choice, then I would probably choose that one. My mom always says that I'm a lot like my nana, because like my nana's husband, who I called Baba, Nana and Baba. Well, he died, like I said, in my senior year of high school. But then she was single from then on. Like she never remarried. I don't think she even went out and dated. And so I was like my mom is like, oh, you're a lot like your grandma. I'm thinking, or your Nana. And it's like, man, does that mean I'm going to be alone for her? Which like, I hope I'm not. But like she made it. She made friends and she went on trips and stuff like that. So I think, that's what I would choose. That's what I would choose. Let's see. Oh, Nate, that's deep. Eve eating the apple. Whew. That's very deep, because from that action, is why we have to work, basically, and why labor is so tough, like having babies. Yeah, if you stopped her from eating that apple, well, that's really deep because it's like if we were still in the Garden of Eden and they're still having babies and stuff, the world would be populated. And I wonder if it would just be straight bliss. Like, I have no idea. That's too deep for me, but that's a really good one. That's a really good one. Deb, how about changing Eve not eating the forbidden fruit? Oh yeah, same thing. That's pretty deep. Love y'all. Time for me to disconnect. Thanks for being here, Rose. Pops up. We learn from food, from good and bad. If we change one bad, it will keep happening, and we won't learn from it, and it will live on through other bad ones. Yes, so true, so true. Well, I'm glad we're ending on that one because I think it's a good thing to think about. Is like one action changes, and you have different outcomes, And I think from that, I just take away gratitude because certainly we could all have better lives, but certainly we could have way worse lives. And I feel very happy with the life that I have. And I'm super grateful for the people that I have in my life, including you and the snack pack. So if somebody hasn't told you, you are loved, I love you. I know I don't know you personally, but love is going from me to you. And I've been noticing a lot more creators are saying that. And I'm glad to see that because it's like we're all just trying to live our best lives out here, So try to give people grace, try to give people the benefit of the doubt. Know that you're not alone. I know there's times where you probably feel super alone, but you're not alone. And we'll keep doing these live streams and I'll keep making videos. And if there's something you want to talk about, let me know in the comments. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to go try like a little teeny bit, like a half a cup of soup, just to make sure that it doesn't taste terrible. I hope it doesn't taste terrible. And that's pretty much it. So let me read these last comments and then we'll wrap it up. This is a good time to reflect on how our tongues affects things. Yes, that's a good one. And actions. Good and bad experiences and how our dorsolateral prefrontal cortex evolved. Took another good one. All right. Well, you guys have a great rest of your evening. And until next time, bye for now. See you later. Have a great week.